Hi everyone, Miro from Wheatland Realty here. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to Park Bench Plainfield, your local community website where we feature and share the stories of business professionals who live or work in the Plainfield area. Today my guest is Rick and he's the owner of Tischler's Market. I hope that you enjoy his story and find it interesting. Hi Rick, thank you for inviting me to your market today and welcome to Park Bench Plainfield.
Well, thank you.
You bet, my pleasure. So why don't we start with you just telling us how did you get into the business?
Goes back a long time. I grew up in a retail atmosphere. My father owned grocery stores. His first one was back in the late 1970s. It was in Justice, Illinois. It's called the grocery store. So that was my first job. That was my weekend job down there because it was quite far from our house. I grew up in Oak Park. So that was my life when we grew up, grocery stores.
Grocery stores.
So,
and kind of stuck with you, and you've picked it up, and you've run with it.
I have, because he had his partner there, and it lasted a few years. I can't quite remember how many. It wasn't long. And then he sold out of that one and opened up another store of his own in Western Springs in '81. And I was part of that. I did go to school for a while. I never finished up college, but I did go to college for a bit. And then I just found myself in that business in his store in Western Springs. And then myself and my brothers, which I have 3 brothers, we opened up another store in Brookfield, Illinois. Mm-hmm. Tischler's Finer Foods was the name of it. So we had 2 stores for a while. And then it just kept on going. And the business and family kind of got difficult, having partners. So I decided to go my own way. Mm-hmm. And so I moved out to Plainfield in 1999 I was in Woodridge at the time. Mm-hmm. And I looked around, I'm like, I want to do something on my own. And I looked up and down 59, and that was booming out here when I first came out here in 2003, this was. I moved out in 99, so 2003, the economy was booming, and Plainfield was growing really rapidly. And there wasn't much space out here to rent. This was my last spot I was looking at. There was an opening, and I found it. I met the owner of the shopping center at the time, was Rick Venagoni, and we hit it off. We talked, and then from there I opened up. And
the rest is history, as they say.
It is. I've kept this from September of 2004 until October of 2016 when I expanded. Mm-hmm. And now it's the size that it is. So it was 2,500 square feet. Now it's 5,000 square feet.
So you've been here for a while, since 2004.
16 years, yeah.
Going on 16. And we just talked about this a few seconds ago off camera about how demanding life can be in retail and restaurants and the grocery store scene and all of that. What keeps you going?
I like what I do. For the most part, there's days, we all have our days that we don't like, it's just, you get tired. It's just a lot of hours in here, but I'm my own boss. I always use the phrase, it's good to be king, sometimes.
Right.
Not all the time. But I enjoy what I do. I like the contact with customers in here, the customer service, because it is more personal in here in this store than it is in a grocery store, because we're a service store.
Right.
So I get to talk to people and know what they're doing, and they tell me how they cook things and what they're doing with stuff. So it's fun to meet people and have different ideas on things. Some things I agree on, some things I don't, but that's just life,
Oh, absolutely.
The spice of life is a variety. So that's what I like about it. The downside of it all is the hours.
Right.
I'm never off. I mean, even if I'm not here, you're always thinking about your own business. Anybody who's had their own business is the same way.
Yeah.
You're always looking, how can I be better? What can I do to improve? How do you cut costs without cutting quality? It's never
How
ending.
can you move the needle in the right direction? Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
We're always looking for that. And, not so much, I don't like to say, I'm looking for the angle to do it. It's not an angle. It's just how to make it easier. But there is no easy way of doing it. I don't think there's anything in life that's worth having that's easy. Mm-hmm. If it was easy, then I don't think you'd want it.
Then everybody would do it, right?
They would do it too. And so it like I said, it has its ups and its downs, and some days are better than others. But overall, I wouldn't trade it.
All right. And obviously, you have a wealth of experience in the business world. So what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about maybe starting their own business venture right now? What would you like to say to that person?
you know what? If you're going to open up your own business, you got to dedicate to it. You got to find your niche. You can't just be common. You can't be the everyday run-of-the-mill store or business that it's out there. You got to have your own niche.
You have to be unique. You have to be different.
Yes.
It's got to speak to you.
It does. You gotta want it. It's not going to just happen. If you think you're going to open up doors, and anybody can open a business, it's keeping it running.
And speaking of unique and different, how would you say Tischler's is different compared to the competition? What makes you who you are?
All right. So my competition, there's not a lot of meat markets out there anymore. It's kind of an old school thing. Years ago, 30 years ago, there was bar, bakery, butcher shop everywhere. Now it just seemed to die out when the big box stores came around. And so it went from service to just, here's a big store, 25,000, 50,000 square feet. It's just there. Pick up what you want. There was really no contact, no customer service. You couldn't talk to anybody who had knowledge on things. So when I was in the grocery store, and everything was a fight for pennies in the grocery business. It is small, low margins. So you got to do volume. And I didn't like it. I was like, you work so hard in this. So I'm like, you know what? I want a specialty store. And I knew, I always liked going in the meat market or in the meat department of our stores and working in there. I just found it fascinating. So I'm like, I'm going to open up a meat market in Plainfield. And I had a lot of people who were like, what? You're going to do what? I'm like, just watch. My wife was one of them. She was scared to death for me to do this.
I can relate to that. Yep.
Yeah, it was new. It's out of your comfort zone. And it was hard. It was 7 days a week, open to close in here. I was the first year. I wanted to have a store where people could come in and get a good quality, because quality seemed to go to the wayside. It was always price. And so I even came up with my slogan, friends don't let friends eat supermarket meat, and I still stick with it. There's definitely a difference in what I sell in here and that you have in any of the big box stores or in the grocery stores. I try to give you the best steak that you can have each and every time. I don't look for price out there. I'm not looking to shop and get the best deal. I stay with the same stuff every week in and week out. I don't skimp on that, because I want somebody who comes through the door today and they tell me that was the best steak I ever had. I want them to come in next week and say, again, that was one of the best steaks I've ever had.
Quality and consistency.
That's what it's all about.
Definitely a recipe for success.
That's what I've stuck with, and it's worked for me. And that's what my difference is. Everything in here, I try to have friendly faces in here, and good quality, and be clean.
When you look at your business, short term, say 2020, is there anything? What are your goals? What would you like to accomplish this year?
I always want it to grow. I always like to see the numbers go up. I don't want it to stay stagnant, because then it's not challenging. It always changes out there. There's always, I have customers who have shopped with me for 16 years, and I have evolved from the day I've opened up till today. I'm different. Every day it's just a little different. We tweak it. We try to introduce new items. We kind of slow down on items too, because there's so much variety out there that sometimes
you can get lost. Absolutely,
it's overwhelming in here. When you come in here in the summer, especially, because definitely my business is from Memorial Day to Labor Day and the holidays. But when you come in the summertime on Saturdays, I have that counter packed up. I got 12, 15 different varieties of burgers. I got 15, 18 different varieties of sausage out there. I mean, that counter gets packed up, and you walk up and down, and you'll look at things that are seasoned, oven ready, grill ready, and it's overwhelming. You don't know how to cook some of the stuff. Some people, their eyes are just saucers looking at it. And so I try, we want that always. I like that surprised look on people's faces. And I don't ever want them to come in and be like, oh yeah. So even my old customers who have come in, I don't want to call them old, but my long-time customers.
Say loyal customers.
Yes, my long-time customers coming in, I want them to be like, oh, there's something new there. So we're always trying to tweak it and make it interesting, have them find something new in here, or just introduce them to something new.
What do you think about your business, your industry? What's the vision for the next 5 years? That's a little more longer term. Do you see any changes that are coming down the pipeline that might surprise people?
I don't see anything like right in my face that's going to change. The labor side of it has changed a bit. It's harder and harder to find help right now. I mean, the economy is booming right now, and the job market is scarce for me looking for good help.
Is there anything exciting happening that you want to tell people about, that they need to know about before we wrap things up?
Something exciting that's happening. No, my thing in here is, if you've never come into Tischler's Market, just come in and walk through it and, make your opinion on it. Talk to the people who are here. I think I can change your mind. If you're looking for sales, I'm not a sales store. If you're looking for quality, you're definitely going to find it here. Mm-hmm. But try us out. Small stores. Get away from these big corporate stores and help out the people who are in your neighborhood. That's
support your local community. There you go.
I mean, you're sending my kids to school, and it goes full circle too, because I do a lot of donations out to people who come into the store and help them out. It is a community. So right. Small businesses need to have that local support.
Yep. Rick, once again, thank you so much for giving us a chance to get to know you a little bit better and for sharing your story with us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. If you would like more information on Tischler's Market, all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom of this page and you'll see the different ways that you can reach out. And for those of you who would like to get a chance to share your story on this website, please go to www.parkbench.com/Plainfield and click on the request interview link, and we'll take care of the rest. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next time.